All right, so we have here a short video to talk about four things. Setting up your themes in NetBeans, choosing your colors. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see, but choosing your colors for the editor region here, how you want it to look based off of your own personal styles. Editing the template, so when you make a new project, all this stuff we end up having to delete every time of the default comments, we want to get rid of that. I call it get rid of all the garbage. And then we want to make some minor changes to the editor itself, which is going to be huge. So this is a short video, but make sure you stay until the end. And I'm still dealing with the pain of my very big brain moment of deciding to do what. If you saw that last video, of deciding, you know what, let me just start this NetBeans fresh so I can go through it all with all of you and make all those changes. That was a big brain moment because I spent maybe 1 or 2 hours setting this up, probably a year ago. And it takes time to really get what you wanted. And I didn't even make a backup. I was like live on that video. Let's go. Let's change it. So we did all of that. And then the reality is it's all gone. And now I need to go set it up again. So let's go. You get to watch part of it. I'm not going to be able to get it perfectly. These are small nuances and personal opinions. It's subjective. But at least we can make some of the changes. So we click on Tools. We click on Options. Of course, you can see we're inside NetBeans. And I'm going to come over here to Appearance. And within Appearance, notice we have these tabs, right? Or not tabs, these buttons at the top. I clicked Appearance. And then I click on Look and Feel. Here, I'm going to choose, this is my personal preference, Flat Leaf Dark. There's other options in here. If you want to check, for example, Dark Metal or Dark Nimbus, go ahead. We'll do that first. I'll check Dark Metal. I'll click Apply. It's going to ask you to restart your IDE to see that. So I'm going to hit Save, and I'm going to hit Exit. It's going to exit the IDE. I already have this IDE here on my taskbar, so I can start it immediately. And this is the new look and feel. I'm not a fan of this one, even though it's better, but I'm not a fan. So once again, I'm going to come back to Tools, to Options, click on Appearance, Look and Feel, and I'm going to go to my preference, which is Flat Leaf Dark. And I'm going to hit OK. And then down here, I'm going to click to restart the IDE. Sometimes it restarts, like just now. Other times you may have to go click on the icon to get it to start. So this should be the one that I prefer. Yeah, this is the one I prefer. But I do notice even there's still a little blue up here for the main. That's fine. So what this is changing, though, this is merely changing the look of the entire program itself, the programming environment, if you will, the program of NetBeans, sorry. So the look up here of all of these menus and these buttons, that's what we just changed. What we did not change is the look of what's inside here where we are going to code. And that's what I want to work on just for a couple of minutes. So I'm zooming in here so you can see what we have. Like this is orange, this is a little bit of a yellow, some green, purple. Maybe you want different colors or brighter colors. So you can mess with that. You can customize this completely. And the extent to which you customize it, you might be surprised, which is kind of why I'm still sad at that big brain moment where I went ahead and deleted my hours of customizations. Tools, Options, Fonts and Colors. So you can come in here and you can, first of all, notice it has some profiles of, this is just for the editor region. When I call the editor region, I'm referring to just this region in here that you're coding in, right? So we're not going when we come to edit, what is this? The color options, where is this? Tools, Options, Fonts and Colors. When you come here to Fonts and Colors, we're only editing how this looks, the actual code and the comments and everything else that's displayed there, right? So I'm going to come there, Fonts and Colors, and they give you some default profiles that you can look at. Say, hey, let's take a look at what this is of city lights, and we hit Apply. And this should not need a restart of NetBeans because you're merely changing, again, what is right here inside the editor. And notice this popped up multiple times. That happens. It's always done that. I don't know why. Just wait for it to stop acting crazy and then close it out. So this I already like a little bit better. It's, I want some brighter colors here for my code. I'm not a fan of this one though. Once again, tools, options. I want to check Norway today. Okay, I'm looking at it before I actually accept it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the flat leaf dark. Don't want a white editor background. Nope, nope, and nope. Okay, so which is the better starting point? City lights, Norway. I don't want the blue. Personally, this is for me. So I'm going to start here. Man, I don't like that at all. That is, to me, rough. This needs a lot of work. And so where's that lot of work come in? Is you come back here to options, and you can change the colors of all of these things. Notice it says here language, all languages. So these are things that it's saying that all languages will have a comment. What color do you want your comments to be? I'm okay with comments being gray. I normally keep my comments gray, but hypothetically, if you said, you know what, I want my comments green. So you hit OK. Well, now these comments are going to be green, right? So you can do that because all those languages will have comments. So we just chose it under the all languages. I came to comment. I made it green. I'm going to go back to gray, though. I think gray is appropriate. Yeah, I like that. Okay. But it is still, I don't like the color of the background. I probably want my background a little darker. I mean, this is all fully subjective. It's just your personal opinions of what you like, right? I would want my background a little bit darker, and then I'm going to want to change all of my colors completely. I'm going to spend like another minute on this and see what we can come up with. So here's background. Wait, can I just come up to default? Yeah, default background. So they're saying 43. No. I want it darker than that, but I don't want black. Although I don't mind the black. But let's not do black. I'm going to come to custom and you can see why this can take some time. Let's see, what if I did 200, 200, 200? Really? That made no sense. I want to make sure this applies. Okay. So as you can see why this takes time. Pardon me, I'm going to spend just another minute now. Tools, options. Y'all can forward the video to when I'm done playing with colors if you don't want to watch this. But I'm going to come back to dark gray. I'm going to apply this, but I don't want that. I want darker than this. I think I want darker than this. So, but I didn't like the custom color swatches. Here we are. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I like that better. So I'll probably stick with this. I'm going to stick with that gray. This is, I think this is where we started. In which case, that is yet another big brain moment. I think we're right back where we started. That's great. I love playing with my Stream Deck. You can laugh at me and make fun of me. That's all right. Come here, fonts and colors. So let's come to Java. Well, we have comments. We edited the comment. Identifier, those are identifier. You can change the colors of those. Operators like plus sign, equal signs. You want to change the color of just your operators, for example. You say, I want all of my operators to be pink or magenta. There we go. For whatever reason, if you wanted it to be magenta, yellow for your operators, as an example. Done. Let's come back to Java, though. And so now we have a lot of Java-specific things we can change. And this is going to be better to perhaps wait until you're more used to Java and what are some of the components in Java and what they're called. So then you can come click through this and really see, okay, yeah, here I recognize, I can see what color I'm changing. I can see what I'm actually doing. We want to change maybe some keywords. There's all kinds of things we can change in here. So I want to get some green. So how about I'm going to come to Java keywords. Let's make those green. already like that a lot better. I'm going to mess with this. I'll probably change this some. I'm going to change my parameters. All of this you can change to your heart's content to get the colors how you want them. And I'm still just really sad on I have to go back and try to figure out what my colors were because I love them and it takes time. Templates. Let's talk about templates. So you may have noticed when I made that first program, I said File, New Project. Every project, let me start that over. Every program in NetBeans is a project. You want to print Hello World, it's a project. We're going to come over here to Java Ant. We're going to hit Next. And then we're going to choose the name of this project. What is this one called? Let's call it Test 1. And I'm going to leave even this as is for the moment. And I'm going to hit Finish. So notice what happens. We get this information here, we get this here, we get this stuff here, another curly bracket here. But in the middle of all of this, we get these comments. And these are what are called multi-line comments in Java. And it's stuff that we don't really want or need. So we end up coming here and we delete it. And then we delete this. And then we delete this. And that's just a hassle to do every single time. So instead, it's better to edit the template, which we're going to do right now. So I'm going to come over here to Tools, Templates, and we want to come down to Java, and then Java main class, and then hit Open in Editor. Now there's a lot of stuff in here, a lot of stuff. So let's not make mistakes on what we're deleting. So let me start at hopefully yours looks the same as mine. If it doesn't, just let me know and I can help you out. But I'm going to delete this right here from lines 22 to 25. I'll zoom in for you. I'm deleting that multi-line comment where it says author, at author, then it has $, and then user. I'm going to delete that. I'm also going to delete, what else? I'm going to delete this stuff right here. Delete that. And I don't think that's it. But let's go ahead and just hit save. And now I'm going to make another program, which is a project. File, New Project. Next, I'm going to call this Test 2. And I'm not touching any of this. I'm going to hit Finish. Okay, so we still have this other stuff at the top I want to get rid of and figure out which one this is, because this is maybe a little bit of trial and error because the template on this new version of NetBeans looks different. So Templates, Java, Main Class, Edit, Open in Editor. So what is this? So click, this is the license. So it's giving me licenses to change a license and then to change the template. They're telling me, click that to change the template. So that's not for packages. It's not for this. Include the license path. This we need. If it's a superclass, you want to include all of this. We'll learn about that later. Interfaces, that's important. This is important. More interfaces. So maybe this is all, maybe that's both of those lines right here. I'm going to just come right here and cut that out. Let me hit save. Let's make yet another one. Next. Test 3. Sure enough, that was it. So what I did here is I deleted line 4 where it says project license path. I deleted that. All right. And the result was this. So let's try to clean this up a little bit. So after the package 3, let's put some other comments in here we're going to want. So I'm going to want to put in here name, put in your name, date, leave that empty so you can put a date for each program, maybe description for description of the program, right? Leave those default comments there so every single time you make a new program, that will be there. So I'm going to come copy that over into this template file. So now I save that, and let's make another project. Test 4. Come on, let's see if it works. Is the spacing good? So the spacing here is good. We need to get rid of one space here between the package and the main class. So one more edit, hopefully. Here is the package. And we can get rid of one of these spaces right here. I'll delete line 24. Save. File. New project. Are we in test 5 now? Test 5. And we can delete all these projects. Yes, let's go. It's finally working. The spacing is good. Everything is good. This is what we want to see right at the beginning. And I leave that comment there. You don't need to leave it there if you don't want to. In fact, you can put something else there, but I go ahead and I leave that comment there every time as a nice little reminder that, hey, this is where, in fact, you're going to start your code. So now, yeah, you make a new program and you can start your code right here. What was left? Editor. This is super important. Here is the final thing that we wanted to discuss. And let me go ahead and close a lot of these things over here. Discard this, close, close. And to notice, I have so many things open. I'm even close this one. I have so many projects that are open right here. I have the Hello World project, test 1, test 2, 3, 4, test 5. We want to delete, well, I'm sorry, we want to close all of these projects. So I'm going to say close all projects. Have mercy on your NetBeans. Don't leave all these projects open. And so now I'm going to come open recent project, and I'm just going to open Hello World. All right, here it is. And I'm going to come into source packages, default package, main.java, and here we are. So what I'd like to do is, talk about some important things. So Python, as you know, you have 4 spaces as far as your indentation, right? So you always have to have 1, 2, 3, 4. If this were Python, I'd be like what? This would be, so I have to get in the realm of Python. Define some function that does something. 1, 2, 3, 4. If something, or x equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. If x equals, or if x mod 5 equals 0, print. You always have these 4 spaces, right? Print something, whatever. All of this is really belaboring the point here is that just we want to have 4 spaces, always for indentation in Python. Java, it's going to be usually one of the following: 3 spaces or a tab. And in fact, this is a style issue, and there are style guides which we will cover that you need to follow, as you need to follow with Python, with consistency. When you're working in real life and you're on a team, you need to be consistent. But here in Java, it's normally just going to be a tab. But you notice when I hit tab, and now when I go back, when I hit backspace, it only goes back 1 space, even though I hit a tab. In fact, a tab was 4 spaces. And so imagine if you are many indents over, you have a lot of nested logic, you have 2 loops, sets of if and else's, and you're over to here. And now imagine you need to go all the way back. You'd be sitting here backspacing forever, which is a disaster. So what we want to do is we want to edit that. And so I'm going to come to Tools, Options, Editor. And when I come to Editor, what I want to click on is Formatting. And the first thing I want to address is this tabs and indents. And notice where it says use all language settings, I'm going to uncheck that. And where it says expand tabs to spaces, I'm going to uncheck that. And tab size is 4. This is just a visual, so the number of spaces per indent is 4. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, normally, I have to do that once or twice before it actually works. But notice that this is the new version of NetBeans. These are things they clearly fixed some bugs with. It's working out of the box. I hit tab, I hit back, tab, 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 back, back, back. That's a big deal. I can't impress upon you how much of a big deal that really is, but it's so helpful as opposed to hitting back forever while working on a program. So one more, come to Tools, Options. A lot of things you can, that you can change in here. The only other thing that I'm going to recommend changing, but these are just, again, opinions. So under Alignment, I like personally to put a new line after my else's. So in Python, you likely recall that you would have, hit cancel, you would have if, if something, colon, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Something else. And then you have, the editor's confused, so I'm trying to type in Python here. Then you would have elif something else, right? This elif is on a different line, which I think is appropriate. In Java, you're going to learn it doesn't have to be, but I recommend the else be, or the elif, or the else ifs, or the else's be on a separate line. So when we come to the options and we come to alignment, I put a check mark by this else right here. And notice what happens. Because you have this if statement. This is just a sample for you to look at it. And here's the matching else right here. And if I click a check mark here, notice what happens with that else. It comes on the next line underneath the closing curly bracket, which is ending the if block above. So personally, that's something I do. Weirdly though, I don't do it for a do while, and we'll talk about that later. But you can come in here and make all kinds of changes of how you want your code to always look. I'm curious, I want to come up here to comments. Yes, these are a lot of changes I had personally made. I don't remember all of my changes for comments, so I need to come through this. Format, block comments. Let's see, what is that doing? I'm not sure what it's doing at the moment. But you can come change all kinds of things with your alignment, your tabs, your spaces, all kinds of things that you can change that is specific to Java. And these are things that you're going to develop opinions on over the course of the semester. And why is that important? Because when you get a Java program and you're coding it in an IDE, a value here is that instead of worrying about how it should look, which is good if you know how it should look, but you can really have the IDE take care of it for you. On a PC, watch, if I do all of this, and let me, sorry, I'm trying to get everything left aligned, right? This looks hideous. But this, as a Java program, works. As a Python program, it would not work because Python requires the indentation to be correct. But in Java, this indentation would work just fine. But if I wanted to go make now a while loop, while, let's make a variable, int x equals 0, while x is while x is less than 10, we're going to do something, and I'm intentionally getting rid of the indentation. If x is a multiple of 2, if x mod 2 is 0, we want to print x. I'll type it out so it doesn't indent it. System.out.println. We want to print x only if it's a multiple of 2, but regardless of whether or not it's a multiple of 2, we want to increment x so we can continue the loop. So now let's run this code. It's going to print 02468, as you see here, right? But look how hideous this is. This is allowed in most other programming languages, which is why I love Python. Oh my gosh. The fact that Python forces you as a programmer to have good style, this is an absolute win. Whereas other languages, you can have hideous style. You can write code like this and it's going to run. But so now if we want to format it, instead of coming up into here and looking like, okay, this is 1 tab, this is 2 tabs, this is going to be 2. Instead of doing all of that, check this out. Just Alt-Shift F, and it does it for you. That's beautiful. Alt-Shift F, and not only did it do it for you, but it even added some brackets right here that I had not included because you don't need them, and we'll explain why. If you only have one line of code inside your if or your else ifs or even your loops, you don't need to put brackets, but it's better programming habit to put the brackets. But check out Alt-Shift-F. I just did Control-Z. So now Alt-Shift-F, boom, and we get this. That is a big deal. So those are just some of the changes we can make in the editor. This is a longer video than it needs to be, but it shows you how we can do what? Change the theme, change the colors of the editor, change some of the options within the editor itself, as far as here, the way it looks as based off of your preferences of how you want the Java to appear to you. And then finally, what else did we change? We came in here and we changed, I forget what, appearance, fonts and color, editor, and we did the formatting as well. Hope this helps. Feel free to, as always, reach out with any questions you may have.